Let's say them together. Good is at the root of everything and everyone. Yes, because everyone is made of that one presence that's goodness. I see you differently today. You're my dear friend who I have just not yet known. I am at peace with everyone. So we get to include everything in the allness that we know of. A, we ask ourselves those tough questions. L, listen more, talk less. And the final L, love everybody, no exceptions. Celebration, once again, you bring it. Yeah, celebration in the band. Aren't we fortunate? Yes, we are. Well, today we're talking about relationships. I know, relationships can be tricky. They can be difficult. Relationships can be hard. And over 2,000 years ago, we got some great advice. Just probably the best advice ever. Love one another. The Christed being said, "This is my first commandment. Love one another." It's 2,000 years later. How are we doing? Yeah. We've got a war going on in Ukraine. We've got people that are oppressed all over the globe. We've got companies that are still building their nuclear arsenals. And even in our own country, we have tremendous political divisiveness. Now, Jesus was clear. He was clear. This is my first commandment, love one another. And about a third of the people on the planet claim to believe and follow him or Christian. So why aren't we doing a little better than we're doing? Now, I'm not saying we're not doing pretty good compared to how we used to be a long time ago, but still, there's room for improvement, I think. How did we get it wrong? Why aren't we there already? It's been 2,000 years. There's in recovery circles, there's a book called The Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and it has a line in there. It says, selfishness, self-centeredness, that we think is the root of our troubles. Well, those of you who are not in recovery, you may think, well, I'm not selfish. I'm not really self-centered. But really, we all have some of that in us because we have a mind. And the mind is designed to see differences. It's designed to protect us from what else might be out there that could harm us. And since most of us today are not in any physical danger, the mind has adopted emotional events and other experiences as potentially harmful too. So it's constantly looking for a way to protect itself. So we can call what has developed in the mind, we can call it the protective personality. That sounds a little bit better than ego. But we all have it. And it's designed to make sure we're okay. And it even goes so far as to make up stories. See, a lot of times we think, if my mind thinks it, it must be right. But really, the mind is making up stories to justify what we believe or justify what we did. It thinks it has the best ideas. Have you ever been sitting in a meeting and thought, this idea I have is great, and you put it out there, and people say, yeah, how about this other idea? It's like, what am I, chopped liver? Don't you know this is the best idea? I mean, this one that I just put out there, that's the best. I mean, we all have that feeling, and that's because of what the mind is doing. It's not that something's flawed within us. It's just the mind doing what it does. So chances are we all have some of that selfishness and self-centeredness in us. We just don't know it. Because it's subtle. It's subtle. It takes a lot of internal looking at ourselves to find out, do I really have any of that in me? It's subtle. Even people that we wouldn't anticipate have that in them, have it in them. And not just the selfishness, but the other things that we think about as being not things that we would wish them to have. There was a recent NBC study of college sophomores. And, people in college, they're open-minded. They accept everybody. They want to be all-inclusive, right? Well, this study found that almost half of them said they would not want a room with somebody who voted differently than them in the last election. That doesn't sound very open-minded. And a little over half of them said they wouldn't want to date, even go out on a date with someone that was of a different political persuasion. And over 63% said, and I would not marry somebody that voted differently than me. Wow, that's about 2/3, almost 2/3 of our young people who are setting their mind on something because the mind is telling them, that's dangerous, don't go there. They could be missing out on the love of their life by excluding those people from who they're even associating with. And I have to ask, what are we teaching them? What are we teaching them? Society is really not geared today in a large way to support that initial directive that we were given to love one another. There's not much that's designed that way. I mean, how many times have you watched the news and at the end of the news, listened to the news, read the news, and at the end of it thought, they're following that direction exactly. Now I feel more like I love my neighbor. Anybody have that experience? I haven't. So society is not designed to support us in really what we know we want to be doing, right? Because love is the foundation of who we are. And so when we love, we're actually in sync with our very makeup. It makes life easier. It feels better when we are experiencing and expressing love. But relationships, oh boy, they're tricky. They're tricky. And it's not just the relationships with people that are believe differently than we do. Certainly we have our issues with them, but even the people that we're close to, like say our families. Probably one of the best things that we could give them is our time. Yet how many of us don't have time? I don't have time to spend with you. I have to go do this, or I have to watch this, or I have to work, or something like that. For couples, how often do you go on a date just so you can sit there and stare into their eyes? Remember when you did that? It was the experience of love. Or with families, how often do you get to sit down at the table and have a meal together and say, how was your day? Was it good? Did you learn something? Oh, honey, I'm sorry that happened to you, but you'll be okay. Or what do you think about this? Just to spend that time. You know, time is one of the most precious things we can give them, and these are people we claim to love. A lot of times with our children, we're so busy driving them to this place or that place, or even if they're older, there's so many activities to be involved in. Where's the chance just to, hey, go outside and play? I used to do that. I don't know if you did. Back where I was, there wasn't a lot to play with, so I would make mud pies. I don't even know if people know what a mud pie is anymore. I had decorated mine with china berries. But it was fun. It was just a chance to be. Just to be. So the time, this is something that even those close to us, we don't give. And then there are those that are not close to us, those people that we disagree with what they think. And you can find these people. There are a lot of them, okay? They're not hard to find. And we talk about those people, don't we? I mean, we talk about them, and we put things on social media about them, and we find little funny pictures to put on social media and little cute memes down there just to make them seem silly and absurd. We do a lot of applying things to these people when really they may not have that character trait at all. Because we don't really know them, we don't really listen to them. So how do we really know who they are? It's like that study, the NBC study. I would have thought I knew who those college sophomores were, but I guess I don't. I guess I don't really know unless I start talking to them and find out more about who they are. So with people that we disagree with, perhaps a lot of the disagreement we're making up in our head. I'm sure that they have loves. I'm sure that they have the desire to have their family succeed, to live in a loving environment. We all have those basic human needs, those basic human wants, those desires. With the advent of computers, they were supposed to make things better for us because then we were supposed to have a lot more leisure time. I don't know about you, but I don't have more leisure time. I don't. In fact, there's more things to do. And another thing that it's done is that it's made us, in a way, separate from people. Even here in the church, a bunch of us gather here, but now we have online. And by the way, hi, those of you online. I'm so glad you're with us. I truly am. I'm glad you joined us. And I'm glad that y'all are here in person. A lot of times online is easier. But I just want to ask, is it replacing a basic need that I have? Is it replacing the need to be in community? There's a reverend called Scott Aubrey, and he was telling a story of his father. He went with his father to the bank. They were there like an hour. And he says, Dad, you can do all this stuff online. And it's that quick. You don't have to spend an hour here. And his dad says, oh, really? He says, yeah. And, not only that, but you can buy your groceries online. Amazon will deliver almost anything. And so the dad thinks about it a while, and he says, since I've been here at the bank, I've seen a couple of people who I know. And I've gotten to chat with them, which has made me happy. Since your mom died a couple of years ago, I find that I really crave the physical touch. So I like going to the bank, and I like going to the grocery store. The grocer, the place where I shop, he came and visited me when I was sick. Scott noted, after that conversation with his father, that he began volunteering for Meals on Wheels, that he became friends with the guy at the hardware store where he trades. See, we crave that physical human interaction. And if we can't do it in person, then it's good that we have online. It really is good. Zoom is great if we can't do it in person. But it has put a separation a lot of times between us and those that we know. Now, how about those people that we don't know? Okay? Well, by this time you may be saying, Jean, with everything else you've talked about, I don't know if I want to know those people. I mean, really, when I think about it, I don't know who they are, and I'm not sure I care who they are. That was the talk title. Who are you and why do I care? Well, we've talked about just needing human interaction. That's one reason we care. But there's a deeper reason we care. See, in unity, we have these things called principles. And the first principle we have says there's one presence and one power. One presence and one power. It doesn't say there's a big presence and we all love it. Or it doesn't say there's a big power over here to fight the little powers. No, it says one presence. So what is presence? Presence is beingness. It's everything that is has a presence. This has a presence. This has a presence. That, everyone here is a presence. We're all made of the same stuff. It's been likened to an ocean, where there's one ocean. We call them by different names, but it's all the same. It's all the same water. And the waves in the ocean are like we are. We kind of appear as if we're separate from time to time, but really we're just part of the ocean. And what happens to one part of it happens to the rest of it. I follow the work of Dr. Sue Morter, and one thing that she says is, there's only one of us here. There's only one of us here. Now, it may seem like, well, looks like there's a lot more people here than just one. But when we step back and go to our spiritual principles, the spiritual principles, we'll get to that place where we say, yes, there's only one. And this does something for us. It not only helps us bring others into our heart, but it helps us bring ourselves into our heart. See, with all this busyness and this going onness and all of that we do, a lot of times we forget that we are also the beloved. That if we're going to have compassion, let's have it for ourselves too. Because it's really only when we get to that place where we accept ourselves as we are, where we can begin to reach out and accept others as they are. When we can begin to say, I know you. I see you. You're just like me. You're made of the same stuff that I'm made of. You have desires and goals, and yes, you've got foibles, and I do too. That's the place I think we want to get to. So I've got some tools. I brought us some tools today. And I like acronyms. Those of you that listen to the 8 a.m. will know that. I like acronyms for tools. And today's acronym is ALL, A-L-L, because I don't want anybody left out, okay? This is going to be something for everybody. And it's going to be a little stretch, perhaps. Okay, I'm just warning you. This Sunday, the acronym, the tools, we're going to ask you to take a step, to take stand here. So the A stands for ask yourself the tough questions. Oh, do I have to? No, you don't have to. There are millions and billions of people in the world that don't. You could do that. But if we want to grow in our understanding and effectiveness, if we want to grow into the love being that we are, it's worth it. So we ask those questions like, why am I always talking about these other people? What is it specifically about them that I dislike? Why won't I have a relationship with them? When did I decide it was okay to put them outside my heart? When did my beliefs get so stuck that I can't even listen to what someone else is saying? Where did my beliefs come from in the first place? How do I even know that what I believe is true? Is it possible? Is it possible that I'm wrong? Oh, that's a really tough question. Yeah. It's when we ask ourselves those questions and allow ourselves to look inside that we find, yes, there are things about myself that can be better, that I can grow from. And I'm just like them. Just like them. There's only one of us here. So that's the A. Now the first L, this one's great. Listen more, talk less. Ooh, I don't know about that one either. Listen more, talk less. Because I like to talk. And I like to talk about the things I talk about, and I have fun with people, talking with them about maybe other people and how the other people are wrong. And even when I'm in a conversation, how many times have I been in a conversation and I've said, well, this person is saying this thing, but I'm saying this to myself. This person is saying this thing, and I have to have a good comeback to that. I have to have a good response to that because maybe I don't like where they're going, or maybe I just have something that I feel is more important that I need to share. And so I totally missed the last 3 things that they said because I was thinking about what I wanted to say whenever it was my turn to talk. Listen more, talk less. Listen more, talk less. And this involves those we love and those we dislike. Can we talk to them too? Carey Nieuwhof has a great bit of advice here. He says, talk to people you disagree with, not about them. Well, this is going to require getting out of our comfort zone a little bit to do that. But when we talk to people instead of about them, we get a chance to know who they are. To know they may have a kid at the same school that we do. Or they may have an interest in, skydiving. like we do, or swimming. That's my latest thing I like to do. They may be someone who has the same concerns about the environment that I do. And if I hadn't talked to them, I wouldn't have found that out. So talk to people, not about them. When we talk about people, what we're doing is we're entrenching the belief we have about them into our minds. And not only that, because the mind is so efficient at what it does, at making up stories, it will make even up more stories about the other people. So, they might have been just a little monster before, but then by the time we get through talking about them, they're a huge monster. Because that's what the mind does. No judgment, it's just what it does. So can we talk to them? See, when we talk to them, what that means is that we have to listen. We get to listen more. I told you we were going to have to step out a little bit on these. Okay, listen more, talk less. When we do that, we may even begin to see the presence in them. Who knows? The presence with a capital P. See that they're just another little wave over there. Hey, wave. I'm like you. Okay, we have a third L in all. And this really does follow along with the instructions that we were given over 2,000 years ago. Love everybody. Oh, that's not it. No exceptions. Okay, let's all take a deep breath. Love everybody. No exceptions. No exceptions. Like I mentioned before, the essence of our being is made out of love. And so, if we can come to everything that we come to with love, whether it be work or play or discussions or family members or whatever, to driving, that may be really hard for some of us, but whatever it is, can we come with love? Can we let love be the primary thing that we want to have come out of this thing? Can we bring it? Can we bring it? There's a person on the planet that I think does a wonderful job of this. The Dalai Lama. He's Buddhist, you know. But he doesn't go around saying, I'm a Buddhist, and I know the way reality really is, because we've been studying this for thousands and thousands of years. He doesn't say that. What does he say? Compassion is my religion. That's what he says. He knows that when we came to this planet, we didn't each get this manual that said, hey, this is how you do life. I didn't get my manual. Did you get yours? I didn't get that one. But he knows that really we're all doing the best we can with what we've got, with what we've learned, with how we were raised, with the things that happened to us in school. We're doing the best we can. Compassion is my religion. See, he comes to everything with the intention of being compassionate. Everything. It's a beautiful, I don't know if you've ever experienced him, but he's a beautiful person to see and to hear talk. Because that's his foundation. That's what he stands on. So that's what we're here to do. Love. Love one another. Can I have love be the impetus for everything that I do? Can I bring it? Can I let it live in my heart so much that it becomes a bonfire that I walk around with, so that everyone who comes in contact with me has this feeling of, oh, I'm loved. I don't know why, but I kind of feel this presence. Can we do that? Because I tell you what, we are the chosen ones. There are a lot of other people out on the planet who don't have a clue about this. And I'm not saying our religion is chosen. I'm not putting that separation in here. What I'm saying is that we're the ones that are sitting here this morning. We're the ones that are watching online either now or later. We are the ones to bring the presence of love more fully onto the planet. I should reword that. To bring the awareness and experience of the presence of love fully on the planet. We have the consciousness to do it. We have the goodness inside of us to do it. And we have the tools to do it. There are tools everywhere to do it. So the question is, will we do it? Will we do it? I happen to be a pretty optimistic thinker, and I think we'll do it. I think we will. I think this planet's going to make it. I think we're the ones that are going to go out there and befriend the guy at the hardware store. Maybe spend a little bit of extra time at the bank. Maybe not that, I don't know. But we're the ones that are going to extend a hand to someone we may not even like. Say hello. Bring love with us wherever we go. We're the ones to do it. I have some affirmations that I put together. And so maybe we can go through these affirmations now together, just to kind of get ourselves settled in with it. Let's say them together. Good is at the root of everything and everyone. Yes, because everyone is made of that one presence that's goodness. Okay, here's one. Together. I see you differently today. You're my dear friend who I have just not yet known. And I am at peace with everyone. So we get to include everything in the allness that we know of. A, we ask ourselves those tough questions. L, listen more, talk less. And the final L, love everybody, no exceptions. Thank you.